Hi there, Colin Newbold back again with the latest in our series of video blogs or vlogs. We took a short break during early summer, but we're back again now. Now this week's subject might be considered a little controversial. I've taken a departure from the norm, and instead of writing about 360-degree feedback or behaviour, I want to write about the tendering process and what's wrong with it. For larger buying organisations, especially in the public sector, there's always been a tendency for suppliers to be selected on the basis of their submitted response to often pretty comprehensive and demanding bid documents. And this trend appears to be spreading now to mid-tier organisations. For larger supplier businesses, putting together a tender is usually done by a team of people pretty well versed in the process and very highly practiced. But for smaller supplier businesses, this puts a great deal of demand on limited resources, and rejection is taken very personally. But even that isn't the real beef that we have with the current system. Having spoken to dozens of smaller consultancies in the HR and L&D space, we're all pretty much agreed that so often we're being asked to propose a solution to the wrong problem. A so-called expert inside the buying organisation has been tasked with a project to deliver X, Y or Z, and that person has worked out what's needed from an organisational development perspective, and then worked with somebody in procurement to prepare the bid document. Now, it's even possible that an incumbent supplier has been involved in that process as well. Not exactly a level playing field. So the diagnostics are done and the tender specification is then written. Interested parties are now either invited to bid, or they've seen a notice of the opportunity somewhere, and we all scurry around trying to make our bid the smartest of the lot and the best value to boot. But like the patient who presents to the doctor with multiple symptoms, the underlying cause of the problem can often be far from the obvious. Extensive examination and diagnostics are required before a treatment plan can be put together. So this month's blog, it's a big plea from one of the little people. The real experts in organisational psychology are more likely to be found running their own consultancies. They're writing books, they're making videos, they're presenting keynote speeches at professional conferences, etc. So if you want your project, X, Y or Z, to have a truly transformational outcome, why not start the tendering process with the examination and diagnostic stage? You won't even have to spend time and effort on the delivery specification, because that can't be determined until after the examination and the diagnostics are complete. So as the buying organisation, you simply outline the symptoms that you face in as much detail as you can, and then you invite potential suppliers to submit a proposal as to how they would go about determining the root causes of that problem. Phase one of the project, if you like. And then the best, most cost-effective examination and diagnostic process is then what you're judging in the tender. Now, whether you get identical investigative processes described in suppliers' tender responses or very different ones, you simply shortlist those companies whose responses you are drawn to, and then you invite them in to pitch. Be sure to avoid those bidders who feel confident enough to propose a solution at this stage. There may be potentially different solutions which can only be revealed once the examination and diagnostics are done. So the successful bidder then gets to carry out phase one of the project. So how does this approach signify a step forward in the tendering process, and does everybody win? Well, think about it first of all from the buyer's point of view. There's much less research, there's much less investigation internally required before the tender document can be written. Potentially difficult conversations with key stakeholders to uncover the underlying causes will be done by the successful bidder. And the real likelihood is that the answers they get will be much deeper, perhaps more true than you would have got internally. In fact, we would be amazed if, as the buying organisation, you didn't find at least one supplier bid that really didn't teach you something you didn't know. And that'll probably be the one that wins. But you still have the choice to go out to tender once more for the delivery solution, or the phase two, if you like, using the detailed specifications being drawn up from the results of phase one. Or you may simply offer that to the successful phase one bidder. Your choice. So how does the supplier win? First and foremost, I'm reminded of the Irishman who was stopped by a passing tourist and asked for directions. Well, if it was myself, I wouldn't be starting from here. apologies to all Irish people watching for my poor impersonation, but we wouldn't be dancing to the supplier's tune. We would be writing our own music, and we stand or fall on our ability to examine and then to diagnose organisational psychology and our savvy when it comes to organisational politics. Only experts need apply. And then the bid document would simply take less time and effort to complete, as we tend to broadly follow the same investigative approach, whatever the symptoms are. The resource allocation for both buyers and sellers would be lower. Well, if you like what you've seen, more than ever before, I invite you to comment below. Let's get a real conversation going, maybe even a petition to the CBI, to Parliament even. Why not? Thanks for watching.